welcome back. There's a lot going on in the cosmos right now. Tonight, in the wee hours of the morning, is going to be the new moon / solar eclipse. And this solar eclipse is going to be in the sign of Scorpio. And if anyone knows anything about Scorpio, Scorpio is very deeply emotional, very mysterious, highly intuitive, one of the most intuitive signs there are. Scorpio is all about transformation. It's about death and rebirth, much like the new moon. The solar eclipse is all about change. So here you have the new moon, solar eclipse, and Scorpio basically demanding change. This solar eclipse will affect everyone on the planet, but it's going to affect the people in Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius the most. This is going to be big, life-changing transformation. Because it's in Scorpio, you might expect it to be intense, maybe even painful. Scorpio does sting. So in addition to our already extremely powerful new moon solar eclipse, the moon is going to be conjunct to Ketu, or the south node. And Ketu is all about your past. It's about your ancestors. It's about your karma. So when you put this into the mix of transformation, it's very likely for you to see changes and have the mysteries of Scorpio that Scorpio brings revealed to you from your past. Now Venus is going to be sitting right above the solar eclipse, which is going to add for some the aspect of love. This transformation is going to be long-lasting. Scorpio is almost a walking contradiction. It is all about transformation and reinventing yourself. At the same time, it's a fixed sign. This means it's not easily changed. The goal of every Scorpion is to learn to let go of complacency and to go with the transformation that they're destined to receive. The Scorpio can be very stubborn in that aspect. So in addition to all this, as if it weren't a lot already, we have timing. It's less than a week away from Samhain. The veil between the worlds is very thin. So, when you have Ketu involved with your past, your ancestors, and Samhain at the same time, which is about remembrance of your ancestors, this is a great time to pierce the veil. And that's what we are going to do today. We are going to pierce the veil to receive our answers that we seek from our ancestors. The power of the new moon, Scorpio, the solar eclipse, is going to bring extremely powerful transformation, along with the aspects of Ketu, the south node, which involves ancestors in your past, Scorpio, secrets, transformation. These are going to be the answers that you seek, that you need in order to grow. Now, when the moon passes over the sun, essentially what's happening here is the sun, which is yourself. It's how you interact with other people. It's what they see. It's what you see. It will be covered by the moon, which is your intuition, which is your inner self. This is going to make your intuition even stronger. Now, you must consider your birth chart to understand how you will react and what you need to do, steps you need to take, things you need to be aware of. For example, my sun is in Leo. The sun is at home in Leo. It's very strong there. My sun is in the 10th house, which has to do with career and things like that. Leo in the 10th house is very motivated, and is motivation to help others unconditionally. This will affect that aspect of my life, so I have to be aware of that. My moon is in Libra. My moon passing over my sun is going to bring with it a sense of justice. It's going to look for harmony and balance. Your rising sign is your roadmap for your life. Your rising sign is what was rising up over in the horizon the moment you were born. And that's how your rising sign is determined. And it is the most important sign in your astrological, your natal chart. Coincidentally, or not, my rising sign is in Scorpio, which of course is about change. Because of the placement, it's possible for it to be painful, but the rewards outweigh the temporary feelings. And Scorpios have deep feelings, deep emotion. The aspect that I really want to focus on is that of Samhain, because the changes are going to come. The way that you get to the results of your changes is really up to you. You can resist, but it's not going to do any good. You can welcome it, prepare, brace yourself for whatever lies ahead. And because of the time of the year, there's a very good chance, very good, that you can make that connection with your ancestral spirits. The first thing that you have to do is to get your mind right, to clear your mind. And this you can do through meditation. You have to have a clear mind in order to receive the messages that you need, and to know that it's not just one of your jumbled up thoughts in your head. The many thoughts that come through our minds constantly on a daily basis. You want to be able to sit down before you start your work, lower the lights, get some incense, sit back and clear your mind. When a thought comes into your head, push it out, clear it. When you get to a point that you're ready and you're in your mode, then you're ready to do your spell work. One big aspect of the Samhain season is divination. And it is through this tool that you can receive your messages from your ancestors. And there's many different ways you can do this. You can do it with a pendulum, asking yes or no questions. You can do it with bay leaves, asking yes or no questions. I'll show you the way that I do it. But another really great way to do your divination is through tarot cards. In this way, you don't have to ask yes or no questions. You can ask a general question. But before we get to that point, we're going to build energy. We want to build energy, and we can do that through our spell, incantation, and so on and so forth. You can make an altar especially for Samhain and ancestral work in general. You can do this by placing on your altar pictures, belongings of your ancestors, along with candles. I like to use a oil lamp for this because you can burn it for a long time. You can turn it down really low and it produces a lot more energy. You should always have a bell on your Samhain altar, and this is to call forth those that you wish to, and also it repels negative entity and negative energy and entities that you do not want to interact with. I always have water, and the water should be changed out every day. The water that is on your altar, you can use to give back to the earth, water a plant. I like to keep some black beans on my altar. This repels negative entity, negative energy, and it appeases those ancestors that might be angry for some reason. So after you meditate and get your mind clear, next you're going to cast your circle. Cast your circle because you are working with spirits and otherworldly entities. I strongly recommend honoring a dark goddess at this time because Samhain is a time when we honor the dark. Samhain is summer's end. That's literally what it meant in the Gaelic language. The nights are very long. The days are shorter. It grows colder and life gives way to death. So that the cycle of life goes on and on. It's never ending. There's constant transformation going on in the universe. Constant. And that's what our goal is here, is to pierce the veil, call on our ancestral spirits to assist us in the revelations that we need in order to transform. And we can do this at this time in particular better because of the solar eclipse, because of the placement of the moon in Scorpio, because of the conjunction between the moon and Ketu. Samhain just happens to be right here where we need it to be. It's a good habit to get into to either read or speak your intention out loud. It is my intention with my work tonight to pierce the veil, make contact with my ancestral spirits in order to glean the knowledge I need in order to transform. What I want to do first is grind some of my herbs together to dress my candles. I have this snake skin that I found not too very long ago. And the snake skin is all about transformation, about change, about shedding the old and doing something new. So I'm going to use a little piece of that. So next we are going to put wormwood. Wormwood is great for divination. As well as our mugwort, which I have some right over here. Our mugwort. This is great for divination and especially dream divination. Next I have yarrow, which is another great divination herb. I also have calendula, which is this beautiful yellow herb. It's great. This is perfect for Samhain. It blooms toward the end of the season, usually in the fall, along with our chrysanthemum, which I'm going to use a little bit of as well. And this is going to, because it's white, it's going to bring purity. It's going to bring pure, true revelation. Some privet. And privet was used by the ancient Greeks, burned in order to open doors to other worlds, which is essentially what our goal is here. I have some hogwort. Hogwort is the best herb, in my opinion, to bring about necessary change. It is essential for these changes to occur in order for you to grow as a person and to make that transformation that you truly want and need. I have some rosemary, and rosemary is all about remembrance, remembering the ancestors. It's also very protective. It's a very protective herb. And last but not least, we are going to add some clove and cinnamon. And it's storming right now, so that's just going to add to the intensity of your work. Cloves are a wonderful Samhain herb. They're great for divination. Cinnamon is stimulating. It's a catalyst that is going to strengthen and fortify every aspect of your spell work. Cinnamon is probably my favorite herb, right next to foxglove. Now we're going to grind this up. Hear the thunder. You can probably hear my cat in the background as well, chomping on his victuals. So next we're going to make our divination oil. It's going to be highly customized because we're going to use it for divination purpose. We're also going to use it for Samhain. We're also going to use it for the transformation aspects of the solar eclipse. First thing that I want to put in here is a little dandelion, because dandelion is a solar herb. This is a solar eclipse, and the moon kind of outshines everything in witchcraft, but in reality the sun is incredibly powerful. It's life-sustaining. Without it, we would not live. So I put in, and here's my cat, and he's just gonna like crawl right up here. Chala? No. Here, is this what you're trying to get? He's gonna burn himself. He wants my snake skin. Hang on a second. No, this will hurt you. Let me get my kitty. Come here. Cha-cha. There you go. I love this cat so much. Next we're going to put just a little bit of calendula, and this is for Samhain. We're going to put some of the chrysanthemum. We're going to put some of the privet. We have to put some hogwort. We're just going to put a little bit of hogwort because it can be irritating to the skin. Now we're definitely going to get our divination herbs in there. We're going to put our yarrow. We can't forget our rosemary for remembrance. I love the storm. I love it. We're going to put our wormwood. And we have to have some mugwort in there as well. And remember, You can use some or all of these herbs in your oil. You can make a great divination oil with just some essential oil. Clove oil, in and of itself, works great. We can't forget about a little piece of our snake skin to help bring about our transformation and change. I'm going to put this right here. Maybe my cat won't eat it. I want to place in my oil some thistle. This has an amazing amount of power in it. It has the color purple, which is great for opening your mind. For this reason, it is great for divination purposes to enhance your intuition. On a side note, acorns are a great herb to use for Samhain. I recently read somewhere that during the witch persecution, witches would give acorns as gifts to people in order to let them know that they were in fact a witch. So I thought that was really interesting. That's something that I never knew, that I just recently learned. And the timing's perfect because acorns and Samhain go hand in hand. I put a little carrier oil in the very bottom, some almond oil, and I want to put some lotus oil, and this is for divination. And I'm going to put about 13 drops of each because 13 is my lucky number. And this is bay. And so next we have it was either the wind or our ancestral spirits trying to get in. I vote for the latter. It's more interesting. Next we have ginger. Ginger is going to add heat. It's going to add clarity because of its yellow color. Next we have clove. And clove oil is great for divination. It's also a great Samhain herb. So the next thing that I want to do is dress my candles. First I'm going to anoint them with the oil that we made. A yellow candle, that's for clarity of mind. It also has orange and brown on it, which are great colors for Samhain and the year's end. This yellow color can also represent the sun and the solar eclipse. We have a purple candle, which is for opening your mind, getting it ready for strengthening your intuition. So I'm going to take my divination oil and I'm going to put some on my candle. So when you're trying to gain something, you're going to pull the oil into you. To bring it in. And you can use a good amount of oil, but don't use so much that your candle is going to burst into flames. Next, I'm going to take the herbs that we ground up in the very beginning, and I'm just going to dress my candles with them. Okay, the rest of these herbs can go on your spell plate. And now we're going to place our candles. I'm going to place the rest of my herbs around my plate. So now we're going to light our candles. And at this point, you're going to want to take the time to meditate over the candles, to think of your intention, clear your mind of everything but your intention, which is to pierce the veil and make contact with your ancestors in order to glean knowledge that is going to help you with this transformation time. And you can use really any kind of incense that you prefer. You can use something that coincides with divination to open your mind, like clove. Clove would be great because it's also in association with Samhain. You can use cinnamon as well. I'm going to use Nag Champa because it's my favorite. I like it. Another great one to use right now would be bay laurel. And then you're going to say your incantation. Tonight the moon is black as coals. I call out to my ancestral souls. Bring to me the knowledge of mysteries I seek. Revelations to grow, not meant for the meek. As the moon passes over the sun, my intuition will not be undone. Even as the moon dwells in the stars of Scorpio, I will not obsess, but change and let go. It is almost Samhain, and the veil is ever so thin. I pierce that veil and call my ancestors, I call my kin. The answers I seek reside in these cards, it's true. My ancestors, my kin, it is your loyal daughter, and I remember you. And wow. So this candle's going a little crazy. So at this point, after you said your incantation, take a moment to clear your mind, focus on your intention, and then you're going to start your divination technique. And you can use a pendulum. A pendulum is something that you would ask yes or no questions to, and you're going to get a yes or no answer. You can do the same thing with bay leaves, and you can always use your candle smoke and your incense smoke for your for divination purposes as well. I'm just going to set this out of the way for a moment, and I'm just doing this so that you can see better. So you're going to take your bay leaves, and you're going to write your question on your bay leaf. And the way that I determine a yes or a no is on how the bay leaf burns. So I'm going to ask a question, and I wrote, is there an ancestor present to speak to? And I'm going to take my and you're going to hold on to it as long as you can, and depending on how it burns, which is, I'm going to take that as a yes because it caught fire really fast. It burned very vigorously. It's still burning. And there it goes. It has big flames. So that would be a yes. Now, the questions that you're going to ask are going to be personal to you. It's still burning. Then you can ask questions. You can ask a question like, is so-and-so here? So I'm going to write, and I wrote, is so-and-so here? That's definitely a yes. It burnt, the entire leaf just burned up in one. So, that's interesting. Now, personally, this is not really the way I like to do it. If you're only asking yes or no questions, then that's great. But if you want to get any more in-depth answers, you are going to have to use a tarot or oracle card deck. And so you would shuffle the cards. You know, you can do something like this. Because you want them to be very well shuffled. You can pass them through the incense to cleanse them. Then you can ask very generalized questions. What is it that I need to know? So, we have the Two of Swords, the Three of Wands, and the Chariot reversed. So the Chariot reversed is non-movement. It's not moving forward. The Three of Wands is looking out into the world, seeking something else. And the Two of Swords is about making a decision. Basically, you're at a crossroad and you need to make a decision. But this decision needs to be very carefully thought through. The reason why is because there may be secrets involved. There may be knowledge being kept from you. Because of the moon in the sky, it tells you that there's something that may be amiss. It's also telling you to use your intuition. She's sitting on some very calm water. The water tells you that it's an emotional decision that you have to make, but the water is very calm, so it's a calm type of emotion. This is also telling you that with a blindfold, there's something that you're not seeing, either because you don't want to see it, because you don't want to know the truth, or because it's being purposefully kept from you. So you have to be very aware of this. In correlation to this card, the very next card is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is telling you that you have a chance to broaden your horizon. You are in control of your destiny. With the Chariot being reversed, it's saying that you need to move forward. You can move forward, but you are allowing certain obstacles and certain things to distract you from your goal. You're letting that get in the way of your forward motion. So, you have a decision to make. This decision involves aspects that you don't know, either because you are blinded by misinformation or hidden facts, or because you don't want to see the truth. You have the opportunity right now. You're in control of your destiny. You can broaden your horizons. and don't allow obstacles to keep you from obtaining your goal. Here we are on the eve of the new moon solar eclipse that happens to be in Scorpio. Scorpio demands transformation. This transformation is going to be long term, it's going to have lasting effects because of the fixed nature of Scorpio. Because the moon is conjunct to Ketu, the south node, which is all about ancestors, your past, your karma. This is likely where you can find some revelations, transformations, secrets revealed from your ancestors, because this is Samhain time. The veil is very, very thin. Through meditation, belief in yourself, you can make that connection. The 4 signs that are going to be deeply affected by the solar eclipse. If you have Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, or Scorpio in any of your big 3, that's your sun, moon, and rising sign. If you don't know what these are, go onto the internet and Google it. I prefer Vedic astrology, so you would say Vedic natal chart, and they're free. You can get a free chart. Some of them are very detailed, some of them are just the basics. But these 4 signs are going to be deeply affected. The effects of a solar eclipse last up to 6 months. Because this isn't a fixed sign of Scorpio, the transformation and the effects are going to be long, long lasting. Remember not to obsess. Scorpio tends to want to fixate on things. Take what you need, learn, transform, and let it go. This is going to be an emotional time for a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of emotions involved. Be aware of what you need to look at. So, that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.